All right, let's get this party started. Wait a second, let me turn off my music. All right, let's get this party started. All right, so if you're watching the replay or you're just now joining, hello, Devin. I'm live streaming it. I'm gonna leave the replay up. A little backstory. So my buddy Q Star, he did a video. This is how I first became aware. Hey, everybody joining the chat. So, Q Star, awesome dude. If you want some humor, like, go check out Q Star. So he does like Reddit posts. I love those. Like Tristan got me into them, and then Tristan got me into this. Well, Q Star gave me some insight into this, right? So possible like child abuse. I didn't know if I wanted to touch that, right? So what I did was I made a video because it's definitely something that I think should be investigated. But I ended up doing a video about let me see. Can you guys see my stream? Can you guys see me in the stream? Let me know if you can see me in the stream. So anyways, I did a video like this on the PTSD and abuse. So one of the reason why I made this video is because this is without a doubt, like there's a sister who has PTSD and they purposely scare her and do all these other things, and it's just not cool. Not cool, right? So like I made a video about how trauma works and how that's not cool. I got a bunch of hate, a bunch of backlash. People are defending Angry Grandpa because he's passed away. Like, I don't want to make this comparison. Hey, there's Q. There's the man himself, the man who introduced me to this, and he found out from some other people. But anyways, so here's the thing. I'm gonna let you all know. Like, if I die an asshole, like, I don't want you to pretend like I'm not an asshole. Like, tell everybody, say, hey, that guy Chris was an asshole. You know what I mean? But I don't like this idea that just because someone passed away, that we gotta, like, not say anything about the reality of the situation. You know what I mean? Like, I hate to make this comparison. Comparison because it's not one-to-one. But, like, could you imagine if somebody was like, hey, like, leave Hitler alone. He died. Like, be respectful. Like, what? Like, what are you talking about? Like, the dude was an asshole when he was alive. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm just saying, like, there's many people, some of you even watching this video, like, I have a very large female audience. And what comes with a very large female audience is a lot of abuse survivors, right? And some of my female audience who are abuse survivors, it was somebody they knew. It was somebody in their family. And it could have been a grandpa. And by the way, Angry Grandpa, there was no allegations that he was sexually abusive. It was physically, verbally, and emotionally. But I'm just saying, like, just because this person passed away doesn't make them, like, all of a sudden, like, this perfect angel. My best friend, this is why it hits close to home with me, and why I don't buy that shit where it's like, oh, be nice, they died. My best friend was sexually assaulted by a family member who has since passed away, and she still suffers from trauma from that. So, like, if anybody watches this replay and you're gonna be like, leave Angry Grandpa alone, no, I'm not going to, because yeah, people can still be like, just because you die, like, all your sins are not washed away. I'm not even a religious person. All right, anyways, so Boogie interviewed him. Boogie said in his video the other day that he's gonna go hard on Kid Behind the Camera and all this. Okay, so anyways, but here's the thing. So before this happened, let's watch this. Okay? Let's just watch the first few minutes, okay? So you guys get some context before this interview came out. Q Star, why am I gonna say? Q Star narrates it.
Ever seen the video where a kid behind a camera shoves his
Let me know if the
2-year-old
volume's okay.
nephew to the ground by his face and then shoves his shoe in the same child's face until his head is forced backwards? Also the one where AGP throws a toy truck at a 4-year-old's head.
Yep, and I did talk to Mike about that stuff, and Mike's answer was very simple. Those were sketches.
About a week ago, after seeing a video by Primink, I released a video talking about the abuse that has occurred on the Angry Grandpa and Kid Behind a Camera channels. And one person whose opinion I really wanted to hear on this topic was Boogie2988. He's an advocate against abuse based on his own personal history with it, and he's also a very close friend of Michael from Kid Behind a Camera. I tried tweeting at Boogie, even including clips of the abuse I was referencing. He wasn't able to respond because he's a super busy guy. He probably gets thousands of tweets a day. But then I remembered that he has a...
Two-star, since you're in the chat, what's it like watching me watch you? How's that? How's that stuff?
Stream, and he accepts text-to-speech donations, so I sent him a donation and asked if he had seen the abuse videos. And before we get into Boogie's response, I did just want to show you the exact clips that I was referencing in that text-to-speech donation.
Okay, watch. By the way, so the argument is that this was years ago. They don't do this anymore. But it's like something I brought up. Like, I think it's naive for anybody to believe that just because they don't film it anymore, that automatically means it's not happening, right? You know, like, I'm not saying it is happening, but it needs to be addressed.
So we're going to get into Boogie's response, and I'll give my opinions about the things that he says along the way, but I also wanted to make people aware that there is an interview coming out this week where Boogie's going to interview Kid Behind a Camera about a bunch of things, including the alleged abuse that has been uploaded to his channel. So I sort of wanted to use this video as an opportunity to educate people and show people the clips that they may or may not be referencing in the interview, and also talk about how Boogie may or may not be making excuses for Michael of Kid Behind a Camera.
So real quick too. Like, after seeing Q-Star's video and seeing the shit that Boogie said, I almost made a video, right? I was really close. I even commented on this video that I was about to make a video, but I wanted to wait until I saw Boogie's interview.
Those are just sketches, like when, you know, like the Michael Myers Christmas one and stuff. And that's Mike's answer, and I believe him. He said it's old school shit. It's like he said to me, and you tell me if you think this is fair, but this is what he said to me. He's like, Boogie, it's like somebody saying you beat your wife because you were throwing Pokemon cards at her. Obviously,
like, that is not the same shit. That is not the same at all. Like, that's where I got heated. Like, that is no way in the same. Like, it is not the same at all.
You don't beat your wife. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's true.
And you know, that is a valid excuse. You know, throwing Pokemon cards at your wife is not abuse, obviously. Boogie's not an abuser.
But, like, imagine if somebody, like, gave their wife, like, a black eye and then said that to Boogie, you know? And like, we don't have any evidence that they gave these kids a black eye. But it's just dumb to say, like, oh, well, throwing cards at them, like, man.
But it's not an excuse for pushing a 2-year-old child to the ground by their face, shoving a shoe in their face, throwing this kid to the ground like you're about to see, in addition to all of the psychological torment that I think was put upon these children.
Yeah, hold on.
So, yeah, that's pretty obvious then, I guess. But I have seen those videos taken out of context. And
I've seen those videos taken out of context. Okay, we need to just get to Boogie's interview.
Them in the context. I'm curious as to what you think, concerned citizen. But that's what Mike said during the interview, and I'm curious as to what
I like how you made your name
Mike's answer
concerned
was
citizen.
Those are clearly just sketches.
Those are clearly just sketches. That's so annoying. Like, they're not like, and the thing that annoys me about that is because there's a comparison going on between this and Daddy of 5. Daddy of 5 said that those were sketches, and 2 kids got taken away. But anyways, I want to jump into the interview because, yeah, and by the way, if you're watching the replay, I apologize. I'll try to include the timestamp for when we start the Boogie interview. But, yeah, that's a little intro to the last thing that Boogie said. He mentioned it in this, too, but Boogie said he was going to do, like, a hardcore Shane Dawson style. But something I haven't talked about, some of you have asked me to make videos on, like, people who apologize too much. Boogie is definitely one of those people. Boogie is somebody who is a people pleaser. He tries to please everybody. He's very soft. And he doesn't have a, so like, I don't see him doing that in this video, but that's my prediction. Let's watch together. Anybody watching this, like, you're gonna see my actual live reaction. Like, the way I react to things live is a lot more brutal than what I'll put in a video. So I'll try to censor myself. Maybe my beautiful girlfriend Tristan will come in here and help censor me if I'm getting out of line. All right, let's watch.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Boogie2988 coming at you live once again to the power of the internet. And I know a lot of you guys told me I shouldn't work with Michael. Michael's a toxic person. He'll make you toxic. I told you guys that I wanted to talk about Michael, about weight loss and the other stuff. But after seeing your comments, after seeing what you guys had to say, and I've written down notes. I've written down almost every accusation I've seen in the video, every accusation I saw in my comments. I'm going to talk to him about it, and I want to learn about the kid behind the camera. And here's the thing, you guys don't know this, but me and Michael have been talking for years, since the Francis Mountain Dew video. I know a lot of this stuff. I know his version of things. I know what I consider to be the truth. But you guys know I'm an empath. If I'm in a room with somebody, I can tell if they're lying. I'm going to call them out on this crap.
Like, no, you're not, Boogie. Like, this is not who you are as a human being. Like, don't, like, why is Boogie trying to act hard right now? That is not how you are, Boogie.
And Michael, I'm going to be entirely honest with you. You lie to me, man. I'm going to go hard. You need to understand that.
Listen, dude, I got
Hold on. If anybody's, like, recording this, like, somebody clip that. Somebody clip Boogie saying he's going to go hard. Because I'm gonna call Boogie out for not going hard.
nothing to hide. My life is an open book at this point. Everybody knows everything about me.
So I want to talk about the abuse. I want to talk about the truth about your dad. I want to talk about the nature of your videos. I want to talk about the clickbait. I want to talk about the grain, because I want to talk about all of it. You sure you're okay with that?
Yeah, dude.
All right.
What are you talking about again?
Well, let's start with something light, okay? Let's start with something light. Let's talk about the clickbait nature of your videos, because this is the thing I saw most frequently, and it's the lightest accusation. Why do you clickbait? Because I will tell you, I'm a fan of your videos. I watched every Angry Grandpa video. I watch the vlogs from time to time, and even I don't know what to expect when I look at a video. The video you and I made said I cheated on Bridget, which is technically true because you and I kissed.
It's
but you
true.
and I have sex. Bridget's not mad.
Well, still, kissing somebody is cheating, is it not?
I get that, but my question is why? Why do you do that? What's the point?
Well, most basic answer I can give right now, just to that one point, is what else am I going to call the video? I kissed Boogie2988. You know what I mean?
I mean,
like,
sure.
That's not as interesting though. Like, we have a problem on YouTube, and there's no way you don't know it. Okay, there's a major problem on YouTube where
When I know it, they don't know it.
There's a major problem on YouTube where you have to clickbait, and if you don't clickbait, viewership is going to drop, and interaction drops, and everything. I don't want to have to clickbait.
Right.
I wish YouTube wasn't the platform that it is now, where I have to clickbait every video. I don't want to do that, man.
But you told me at one point, like you tried.
Like, I agree. Like, I agree with that. But I think there's, like, it's like with Logan Paul. Like, I don't know, because people who are always trying to one up themselves and go extreme. But right now they're talking about cheating and kissing and whatever. So.
Tried. Not clickbaiting, just like titling it what it was. It was something about like going on a tourist thing or getting Chinese food. And you said the views are down what percentage?
Dude, when I went to New York City a couple of years ago, so number one, a lot of people that say that like I'm only clickbaiting now, I've always done it. It's always been a thing that I've had to do to survive on YouTube. And back when I went to New York City, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna not clickbait this blog and see how it performs. And I called it Tourist Crap and Bomb-Ass Chinese Food. And it, to this day, is the least performing video I've ever uploaded. Like, I woke up, this is how bad it was, okay? Usually when I upload a video, I'll wake up and it's at like 180,000.
Hold on, everybody. Can we just do something real quick? Hold on. Hold on. So I just like seeing, like I try to gauge people and see if they're bullshitting me, like from the beginning, right? So his most popular video is 10 million views. Dang, dude, get some views. Dude, get some views. Okay. Hold on. Wait. What? What the hell? Like, what are they talking about? Is that on a different channel? Like, I'm looking at his least performing video is at almost 1 million views. Is that the Angry Grandpa Show? Hold on, everybody. By the way, like, if you're watching the live stream or if you're watching the whatever, like, this is how I roll. I investigate. I research. I like to find out if people are bullshitting me. All right? All right? So bear with me while we go on a... How have I, like, never seen this stuff? I think I might have seen a clip. What is he talking about? What video is he talking about that only had... Hold on.
And then two...
Wait, why was I not seeing this video?
Hi.
Hi. What?
Yeah, I don't even think that's, like, so he's not even SEOing it. Never mind. We're going to stop looking because YouTube's acting weird, but yeah. Need chamomile
This day
tea.
is the least performing video I've ever uploaded. Like, I woke up, this is how bad it was, okay? Usually when I upload a video, I'll wake up and it's at like 180,000. I woke up and this one was at 22.
Jesus. Yeah.
Now, that's a dramatic drop, and I ain't doing that again.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I can understand. And that's the thing. I feel like my audience hates to use clickbait because I don't clickbait, so they're not used to it. But I think your audience is used to it at this point because I've read your comments. You said you read your comments rarely, right?
Yeah, it's most people's like comment field is just like total toxicity.
Right, and ours are about the same on that level. I get a lot of positivity in the right videos, but most of the time it's very negative stuff, which is reasonable. I get that. And sometimes I consider it to be fair criticism. I don't know. Sometimes I don't feel like the criticism you're getting is fair, but your audience is used to it at this point. Clearly they're watching. You're getting 3 times the views I get. You know?
I'm very fortunate in the fact that like I've had a steady view number always on my channel. When Dad was alive, I would average between 180 and 250,000 views a vlog.
Right.
And I'm still averaging between 180 and 250,000 views a vlog. And I think the reason that that is because the ones that do support me, the ones that I do love, and I love the haters too, but the ones that are ride or die with us, they don't care about the titles. Right. Because are they going to get annoyed? Yeah, it's a crappy title. That sucks. But the video is good. I try to make only good content that I like. Vlogs that make me laugh. If I don't laugh, there's sometimes I don't upload a vlog because I didn't laugh.
Right.
I'm like, you know what? No upload today. And that hurts me to do.
So the nature of your vlogs, okay, that's another thing that I've seen, is that beyond the clickbait, nobody ever knows like what's real and what's not real. Are you really sick? Do you really have diabetes? Are you actually trying to lose weight this time? Because then you end up not losing weight. What, are you walking away for this? Right.
I got diabetes.
Yeah, right. We just checked our blood sugar, by the way. Michael's blood sugar was lower than mine. I was clocking it at 120. Michael was clocking it at 83 this morning, so he's doing better than me. He's less diabetic than me right now.
I mean, like, there's some stuff.
This is such a corny interview. Like, I'm just going to say it right now.
And I've said this on Keemstar. I've said this on every avenue that's been asked of me. There's stuff on our vlogs that you have to know is staged.
Right.
You have to know that, like, some of that stuff just, it ain't happening. You know what I mean?
Right,
like,
right.
But at the same time, there's a lot of the stuff that is.
Like when your sister got like burned up in the garbage fire, that was like a real thing.
That's 100% real. She had to get skin grafts. She had to get like, and then did we play it up a little bit afterwards? I'm like, hey, but like, Jenny, are you cool with us, like, exploiting this? Because, like, this is crazy.
Right.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, Jenny, hobble to the kitchen. You know what I mean?
Okay, so you use the word exploit. And that's one of the worst accusations I've seen.
Yeah,
I think most people are maddest about.
Yeah, I know what you're about to say.
It's saying that you exploit your dad's death. And you and I feel like I want to lead this if I can. Because me and Michael have talked about this. You write what you know. You film what you know. And Michael, I've been on the phone with this man as he cries his eyes out about losing his dad. I mean, this is one of the hardest things he's ever gone
I'm
through.
gonna cry now, dude. Listen, do I want to not talk about dad? You know? It hurts.
And see, man,
It hurts to talk about him.
I get it. You know, like, but some of the accusations, Michael, like 48 hours after he dies, you have a T-shirt that says, "Rest in peace, Grandpa." Is that a real thing? Is that a real T-shirt you had?
Yeah, it's a real... That's not me. I don't design the T-shirts. That was Broadband TV. Now, here's what happened.
I'm going to say something. It's going to sound awful. It's going to sound terrible. All right? This is going to sound terrible. But I don't think that the interview should have started with getting him emotional, because the way I would perceive it, because I got trust issues, is like you're trying to get us to empathize or like sympathize with him before going, like, I don't like that.
When Dad was dying, you know, before he went to the hospital, he really wanted to do merchandise, and I did not want to do it. I never wanted to do it because I didn't think people would buy it. I always thought, like, for instance, when VidCon asked me to come do like an autograph signing, I said no because I don't want to be there and there's 3 people there to see me. It's embarrassing. So I didn't want to put out merchandise because nobody would buy it and it would be humiliating. And so a month before Dad went to the hospital, he was like, "Mike, let me run the merchandise. I'll take care of it, whatever."
Why does
so I got in touch with
Dad sound
Broadband
like
TV.
Donald
They
Trump?
signed these contracts.
I'm terrible.
And we were under contract to sell merchandise for Broadband TV, and Dad's sick in the hospital a month later. And I thought he was going to die, which he did, but not as soon as I thought. So at Thanksgiving, I'm talking to him, and he's like, "Mike, I don't know how much longer I got." And I've never told this story. He said, "Mike, I don't know how much longer I got. So talk to the people and see if they can work with a tribute shirt."
Man, Jesus Christ, really? I didn't know that.
Never told it. I didn't want to do it. He used to always tell me, "Mike, film this video and save it, because one day I'm going to be gone." Like, do I want to talk about my dad all the time? I can't help it. He was my life. You know, he was my rock. And, like, if I'm vlogging and I start crying, what, I'm going to not vlog that day? You know what I mean? That's just what happens to me. But the shirt, Dad said, "Hey, maybe you should make a, you know, tribute shirt." And I was so against it. He's like, "Michael, you have to look at the fact that I'm not going to be here much longer." And I did not, like, to the end, I was fighting that. Because he had such a horrible bed sore and he was in misery. He was screaming in bed.
This is one of the ways that your dad tried to take care of you. You wanted to make sure that, you know, you had money. If your dad was here today, if you could call him wherever he is, and you know him better than me, would he be okay with the videos you've made? Would he be okay with the merchandise you have sold? Would he be okay with it? Because that's what it really comes down to. It doesn't matter if the audience cares. If they are okay with it, what would your dad think?
Let me tell you Dad's quote. This is a 100% quote. Anytime something would happen, Dad would say, "Anything for a video."
Really?
He was a YouTuber. He knew clickbait. Like, when YouTube tried to kick him off of the platform for his cussing, what was his first video? Censored video to YouTube talking about them cutting him off of the platform. He was a YouTuber. He, you know, he would talk, when I put up a video, he would say, "Hey, how'd that video do?" "Didn't too good. Oh God, you know, I'm over Mike." He was anal about the views. He was anal about everything. One of the things I'm sure you're gonna ask, were they fake?
Right, I'm right. Because that ties into so much. That ties into so much more I want to say. So let's say that question, okay? So I want to talk about the allegations of abuse, okay? To the audience watching, I already know the answer to this question.
Okay, I'm gonna go in for another critique. Like that, whoever picked this track, like the music, terrible. Like watching this is giving me so much more respect for Shane and Andrew. Holy shit.
This is for your edification. But I want you guys to know, and Mike already knows this, I grew up in an abusive home. My mom beat the ever living hell out of me. But the verbal abuse, the stuff you see in the grandpa videos, that verbal abuse, that happened as well. Smashing stuff, destroying something she bought me just to take it away, just to punish me, but even the physical abuse, in my case, sexual abuse happened to me as well. So when I watch these videos, they're like, they're an abusive family. Everybody in that family is abusive. Dad was abusive. Was Grandpa abusive?
I mean,
and define, how was he abusive? Like what?
Yeah, define the.
Oh no! I know what words are about to come out of your fucking mouth, Michael. I know what words are about to come out of your mouth.
Word abusive. You know what I mean?
Okay. Did he hit you kids?
Never me.
Yeah.
He hit my brother, and he hit my older sister Jennifer. Like, listen,
I think the exact quote Jennifer had was, "He beat the shit out of me," or "He kicked the shit out of me."
Like, I'm not gonna lie, I've never hit that. We've talked about stories where Dad jacked Jennifer up against the wall because she ripped $1,000 cash and he got pissed. We were very poor. Like, I don't know how we got that $1,000. I think it was like a lawsuit, like a car accident or something. Right. And Jennifer, like, ripped it.
Yeah.
And Dad jacked her up against the wall.
Well, see, I hear you doing something that I always do, which is, it sounds like you're making excuses for your dad. Now, I think that's something that gets people really riled up. Because I make excuses for my mom, too. And I know where it comes from, but they don't. They don't understand that.
Yeah, I mean, right? Listen, like, all I can say is it was never excessive like they try to say. It was never like, he wouldn't use weapons. He wouldn't physically abuse us. He was very angry.
Right.
He did a lot of messed up crap. I've told...
Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. Oh, there is so much wrong with this already. There's so much wrong with this. Like, Q-Star, for those of you watching the replay, he just asked who rips up the $1,000. That just didn't make any sense to me at all. Well, let's talk about that. I think that's a great question. When you are in an abusive household, you're gonna snap. You're gonna lash out. In some cases, so the way our brain works, it's fight, flight, or freeze, right? This is survival, okay? So for some people, they freeze up, right? For some people, they run. Other people fight back. So one of the symptoms that I talked about in my PTSD and abuse video, I think I talked about in that, one of the symptoms is like this aggression, this anger, right? Like people who struggle with PTSD can get very angry. And Jennifer is somebody who has PTSD. Now, Michael, I'm wondering if Michael's ever gone to therapy, but he literally just said about how his dad jacked her up against the wall. Hold on one second.
Like, all I can say is,
hold on.
It was never excessive like they... Listen, like...
I know where it comes...
And Dad jacked her up against the wall.
Look at that. Look at that face, okay? Like, that right there made me hurt. Like, that kind of body language right there is like, Dad was justified in jacking her up against the wall. Like, what? What? Like, and don't get me wrong, so just full disclosure, I was spanked as a kid. I don't think it affected me, but like, I was never like thrown up against a wall, and from what Jennifer said, it doesn't, like, it sounds like more than a just tushy spank,
He wouldn't physically abuse us. He would...
Okay, so did you guys see how I just fast forwarded? So we were just talking about how angry grandpa jacked her up against the wall. Now he's saying he didn't physically abuse us, all right? Now, Boogie would have, like, if I was Boogie, I would have stopped him right there and said, whoa, record scratch. This happened within a minute time. And they're not even talking about the video she made. Maybe they'll talk about it soon. The video she made saying when she was cold and turned the heater on and he kicked the shit out of her.
He was very angry.
Right.
He did a lot of messed up crap. I've told people on video, Christmas morning one time, somebody ate his cheese and he slung butter against the wall, took the tree down, threw it in the front yard, and went into his room for the rest of the day.
And this is like one of the trailer parks we lived into. This wasn't like a nice house like with Christmas presents.
What's that have to do with anything, Boogie? What's that have to do with anything? But anyways, like, you guys, it is, like, in my experience, I don't think I've ever met anybody who breaks things, throws things, and stuff like that, but they've never gotten physically abusive. Like, that's just not how this world works. So they have terrible impulse control, terrible emotional regulation, but for some reason, I don't know. I guess there are some people who punch walls and break shit and don't hit people, but I don't know. It's just not adding up.
Presents filled in the house.
We never lived in any nice houses. Yeah. We were, if you could imagine how poor a family could be, we were poorer than that. Like, mom wasn't working, dad was living on Social Security benefits, and that went to the bills and left nothing for food. We lived on government assistance our entire lives, man. We had absolutely nothing. And
so, yeah, this is what Q-Star was talking about. Q-Star already watched this, and he said there's a lot of emotional manipulation. Why are you how do you go from talking about abuse to how poor you were? Like, is that an excuse? Like, is that an excuse for that kind of behavior? Like, don't get me wrong. I empathize because some people, like me, I wasn't raised any better. Like, there was certain things that I knew, but, like, this is not, like Tristan just said, this is not an objective interview.
You're right. It is an excuse. Dad being poor and 900 pounds and angry about it. He took it out on his kids all the time. He was a raging alcoholic. Now, there was a day when all that stopped. Around 94, 95, he took his last sip of alcohol and quit cold turkey. He was like, I'm never taking another sip again, and he didn't.
And he got better, right? Like,
tremendously better, man.
Okay, by the way, so this isn't mental health related, but, like, here's how Boogie doesn't know how to interview, okay? Hold on.
He got better.
Alcohol and quit cold turkey.
Hold on, wait.
Like, I'm never taking another sip again, and he didn't.
And he got better, right?
So that is not how you interview somebody. You don't say, and he got better, right? That's leading them. That's being subjective. That's taking his previous knowledge and using that, right? So the right way to ask that question was, okay, so how was he after he quit drinking? Like, that's what you ask. You don't say he got better, right? Yeah, don't let me interview nobody. Don't let me interview anybody.
Tremendously better, man. Like, night and day.
Because the way you portrayed him on YouTube, and I think this is the source of the allegations, the way you portrayed him on YouTube, he was such a nice guy, he was such a good guy, he was capable of doing such nice things. Like, we see videos of him giving money to charity, we see him giving money to fans, and he was spoiling those grandkids to some extent. So, is that all fake? That's what I want to know. It's fake.
Holy shit, Q-Star, I'm starting to see. Oh my god. Oh, okay, so everybody, just so you know. Oh god, this hurts my head. This hurts so bad. How am I doing this? Oh my god, this might make me relapse. That's a joke, everybody. I'm not gonna relapse over this. But anyways, like, okay, so again, Boogie is saying, like, all the nice things that Angry Grandpa did. Boogie, never ever interview somebody again if you happen to see this. But the other thing is saying, but he spoiled the grandkids, he did that. So let me tell you about somebody I know. He is an alcoholic. He is a verbally, emotionally abusive alcoholic. He has sometimes been physically abusive towards his son, okay? And what he tries to do is overcompensate for being an alcoholic by buying his son a bunch of expensive shit, all right? So, like, I don't like how Boogie is like, well, he can't be all that bad because he buys you things. Like, that's what abusive, like, if any of you have ever been in an abusive relationship where you feel trapped, right? Oh, well, how bad can your husband be? He's paying your bills, he's paying for the house, so is it really that bad if he punches you in the face? Like, what? Like, what is this fucking logic? Oh, there goes an F word. But anyways, holy shit.
I don't care if the rages are, like, I don't care if he's genuinely smashing your PlayStation. What I care about, is he hiding some secret? Is he beating the hell out of you? Is he beating the hell out of the kids and then trying to make up for it? What's the situation?
Oh, okay, there we go.
Is that stuff fake? The charity stuff?
Like, not only is the charity stuff not fake, I didn't know people were even saying that, by the way. Like, not only is the charity stuff not fake, but there was so much extra charity stuff that nobody knew about. Like, Dad was against filming a lot of the charity stuff we did. He thought that by doing that, and I'm guessing that's what's happening now, he thought by showing anything we did nice, we would be doing it for an ulterior motive.
Right.
So, there was one time, one of our fans wrote us, and they sent us a GoFundMe link, and they said, hey, my house burned down, can you share this link? They needed $5,000. Dad sent them all the money.
Man.
Paid off the GoFundMe account. And we've never talked about that on video. We keep in touch with that person. They came to one of Grandpa's barbecues.
That's crazy, man.
Their house burned down. Their kids lost everything, and Dad paid it off like that.
Because I think this is what kindled our friendship, is that my mom was very similar in a lot of ways, that behind closed doors with me, she was a really rough person. And she was, here's something else I want to say. My mom was an angel to her grandkids. We'll talk about that. But to me, she was a monster. But then she taught preschool, and she was an angel to these kids. She would go out of her way to spend her money to buy them Christmas presents, to spend money to make sure their families had Thanksgiving. She would intervene and get these kids to get off welfare, the parents to get off welfare and get real jobs. They would get the parents who were not having income on the welfare. They would call child services to get people out of the home if they needed to. And so everything I've ever learned about your dad, he had that same dichotomy. He was very, very good to everybody else, but when he came home to you guys, he was pretty rough.
I mean, that goes for, like, mostly just the two oldest siblings.
Right.
You know, me and Dad, I was his shadow. He was only great to me.
You guys, so, like, I don't know, this might be the worst reaction or the best reaction, because this is, like, just really real. I'm trying to manage my emotions, like, because this shit is rough. This is brutal. Like, for example, like, I'll just pick up where we are right now. Boogie's talking about, you know, I'm glad Boogie brought that up, I will say that his mom, like, because that's what a lot of people are, like, you know, they're great in the outside world, but they come home and they raise hell. But Grandpa wasn't that amazing to the grandkids. Like, he was calling them, like, homophobic slurs and everything like that, and, like, the stuff that Q-Star highlights, like, they, like, you threw a truck at him and just all, like, oh my god, holy crap.
I was the one that didn't smoke. I was the one that didn't drink. I was the one that was good in school, listened. So I would go with him to flea markets and sell on the weekends, and we would do anything we had to do to make a buck. We were ride or die together, and that's how it was till the end. Me and Dad had a great relationship till the end. My sister Kim, he and Kim had a better relationship than the other two. It's sort of like as he got older, it got better. So with my first son, he was in the, with my brother Charlie, he was in the pit, the epitome of his alcoholism. He was at the height of it. And he was angry all the time. And then my sister came, and that's a second mouth to feed, and there's no money to feed it with. And then Kim comes, and he's starting to get a little better. And then I'm here, and all of a sudden things are changing. And his whole, like, demeanor is changing as he gets older. Like, he's softening as he gets older, basically, you know?
So at some point he had full custody of the grandkids.
Yeah.
There's 5 grandkids total. He have custody of all 5, or is it just 4?
4 of them, yeah. He
What? A grandparent typically doesn't have full custody of 5 grandkids unless stuff's going on. Unless some bad stuff's going on. Like, people aren't just like, here you go.
He had custody till he died.
And so my question is, Michael, did they see that side of your dad other than on the vlogs, other than on the Angry Grandpa videos? When he was alone with those kids, was he throwing stuff? Was he yelling at those kids?
So I've only shown like one clip ever of this. It was in a video where we were talking about some problems we were having with Tina Dandridge, a lady that was in one of our videos. And in that video, I showed a clip of Dad at one of Jacob's graduation ceremonies. He was graduating the 1st grade.
Yeah.
And Jacob's walking across the stage. I'm teary thinking about it. He's walking across the stage and he's like, all right, Jacob. What they didn't know is Dad went to every PTA meeting. Dad went to every award ceremony, every event at the school, every parent-teacher meeting, every call he showed up to. Those grandkids were his life. And do you think there's a chance people weren't calling DSS on us?
I can imagine they probably got called at least a couple times.
I wish it was a couple of times. We had a standing appointment with DSS.
Really?
The Department of Social Services.
Like how many of your fans do you think called?
Thousands per month.
Jesus, really?
Thousands per month were calling. He's angry, Grandpa. He did this. Today he broke plates. And DSS would show up. They have to respond to those calls. So every time they would come to our house. And they would investigate, they would talk to the kids, they would talk to Dad, they did their due diligence. They never closed the case because there were so many calls coming in.
Right.
And they never took the kids once.
And
Tristan, when you get a sec, because you're for those of you who don't know, my beautiful girlfriend is in school for social work. I don't know if you know the answer to this, but from my experience working in just treatment and with social workers, I don't know, unless the social workers just sucked, right? Or child protective services. Like, even if they were like, we're just filming like YouTube stuff, I don't think they would find that household safe if he was like breaking shit. You know what I mean? Like, they would be like, no, this isn't like, you guys aren't Hollywood professionals like breaking stuff. Like, that's dangerous. That's dangerous. Like, imagine, okay, let's just talk, you and me right now, just like two adults, okay? Like, if I had kids around me and I said, hey kids, I'm gonna throw plates and break them and they're gonna shatter, this is all part of a skit, right? Like, how safe would that be? Like, I don't know how many of you have kids, but I lose my mind if I accidentally break a glass or my kid breaks a glass. You know? What is happening? What is happening? I don't know. Okay, so either A, I don't buy it, or B, the the social services workers sucked. All right? One of those two things. That's what I think.
No, you have custody of the kids.
Full custody. Yeah, I have custody, and I've branched that off to my sister. I had permission from DSS for them to live with her, but I've retained full custody until she can, like, get it back herself. Yeah.
And so that leads me to the $1 million question, Michael. And this is something I get accused of all the time. Boogie, people who are abused or abusive. And I'm certainly not a perfect person, man. I have PTSD, I have anxiety issues. I can definitely disassociate. I can be not a great person sometimes. Michael, are you abusive, man? Are you abusive to these kids?
Well, first, I wasn't abused as a kid.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
you're saying.
I was the golden child, right?
Oh, boy. Okay, so a few things. So Tristan said, we got taken away because someone saw my mom and her boyfriend having an argument. Yeah. Like, could you imagine? Like, let me just play this tape through, because this is very well possible. Maybe they just had the shittiest social workers. Like, that, just so you all know, one of the reasons why Tristan wants to be a social worker is because some social workers suck, okay? Like, could you imagine if I was cussing, screaming, yelling at my kids, right? Like kids, calling them homophobic slurs, breaking plates, and doing all of that. And then social services hears about that. I'm like, yeah, I yell at them and cuss at them and stuff. Da, da, da. And the social services is like, oh, but it's for YouTube? That's okay. That, like, what? What? But here's the thing, too. Psychologically, like what Michael just said,
Abused as a kid.
Are you abusive, man? Are you abusive to these kids?
Well, first, I wasn't abused as a kid.
Oh, that's right. You're saying.
I was the golden child, right?
All right. So is it really fair? Is it really fair to interview Michael, who was the golden child in that family, right? So Michael has the most rose-colored lenses, you know, out of everybody. You know, like, is anybody following me? Am I making sense? If you're the golden child, for example, I'll use my own experience. My view of my parents was much different than my sister's because I was always looked at as the good one. You know? A lot of the issues my sister had with our parents and my stepdad and stuff were way different.
So everything that Dad did for those grandkids, he wanted to give them what he couldn't give us. We had nothing growing up. And he wouldn't, like...
It doesn't discriminate. It hits us all. There is no one look.
We had nothing. And when we finally were able to have something, he wanted those kids to not, like, live without. Because we lived without so much.
Right.
And I continue that now, you know?
Because you got custody of the kids. I asked you once, like, how much of your money you'd saved. And you said you had hardly anything saved.
I still have hardly anything.
Because we were talking, you had a video saying you were, like, going broke.
Yeah.
And I called you up, and I'm like, Michael, is this real? And you're like, yeah, dude, I have barely anything saved. Tell them why that is. Tell them why.
I mean, I take care of everybody in my family.
Tell them why. Tell them, like, this is the worst fucking interview ever. Like, what? What is happening? Holy shit, Boogie, baby girl. Boogie, you need to work on your self-awareness, baby. Like, you went hard in this interview? What? Could you imagine somebody interviewing Donald Trump and just be like, tell him all the good shit you do. Tell him. Like, could you imagine that? Like, what? What the hell is happening? Oh my God. You guys, I gotta go to the bathroom and collect my thoughts. Talk amongst yourselves. Talk amongst yourselves for a minute. All right, I'm gonna play an ad and make a little money, so thank you. Hold on. I don't even know if that worked. It's the first time I've ever clicked that button. Ooh. All right, I'm back. By the way, everybody, a couple things for this little intermission. Damn, we're only 20 minutes in. God, I take forever to watch stuff. But anyways, hey, check out the description. There is a link to my mailing list. I'm going to start doing, like, mental health emails. Q-Star, Chris, come back. I need your support. I'm here, baby. I'm here. Just listen to the calming sounds of my voice. But, hey, check out the description and sign up for my mailing list. Like, I'm going to, like, I want to cut back on some videos because I make so many videos. And when I get these thoughts for, like, mental health support stuff, like, I'm going to just put it in the mailing list. I think I want to do the first one over the weekend or on Monday. But yeah, I'm doing some stuff. I want to get a bunch of people on there because, like, this morning I just had these ideas. I just want to just write it down and just send it out to you guys, inspire you, give you a little hope, give you a little tip. Like, just for example, this morning I was going to be a petty little bitch, and I vented to Tristan instead, right? And, like, that's just something that I do. Like, something I try to tell you guys, all of you, is, like, don't be so petty. But yeah, anyways, and Zach is currently editing a video that is going to be a nice palate cleanser. So maybe it'll be uploaded by the time we're done watching this garbage. God, Boogie, it's hard to get upset with Boogie because he's such a sweetheart, but, like, you gotta get tough with him. You know what I mean?
When Dad was alive, I was paying all of his bills, not to mention he gets half of the YouTube money.
Right.
he gets half of that. Like, a lot of people don't know that. Like, Michael's stealing from his dad. Dad got half of the YouTube money. Part of it had to go up for taxes. And then a lot of what I had, I was paying for my mom's life. I was paying dad's bills. My sister in New York needed help sometimes. I would give her money.
Right.
I take care of everybody in my family that needs help. And friends. There were friends who would say, hey, can you help me out? I don't like seeing people like without, because I had so little growing up. So if I can afford it, I'll give it. You know what I mean?
So obviously the bare necessities for these great kids, obviously the clothes and the school clothes and the school supplies and the food and stuff. You spoil these kids too. I've seen.
Yeah.
They get the gaming systems, they get the iPads, they get everything that they genuinely want, right?
Yeah.
But that's not.
Tristan, doesn't this bullshit sound like a family we know, right? Where like, hey, there's nothing wrong here. Look at all the expensive shit this kid gets. That is why people are so messed up with their mental health. So messed up.
To like cover up something awful going on, like you. So okay, so
is that what people are saying? Like,
I don't know. To be honest with you, it's a question I'm asking mostly because that's something I'm accused of all the time. Like Boogie must have been abusive to his ex-wife because he was abused, so obviously he's abusive, right? And so that's my question. Like, there's no secrets. You're not covering up anything.
No.
I mean, DHS is involved. Are they still involved?
Dude, people are calling now more than ever.
Why you don't do anything in front of those kids? I watch your video.
Good job, Q. That's you,
we
Q.
live in this
Good job.
world where these like trolls on the internet just want to try to make your life as miserable as possible.
And there are those people, but I will be honest with you. My audience.
Yeah, it's kind of like my Jake Paul video. Jake Paul doesn't manipulate kids. You're just a hater, you know? By the way, that clip was in the Nerd City video, in case you didn't know. Pop, pop, pop. That's me popping my collar, by the way, the collar I don't have.
Especially, I think a large portion of my audience, they're genuinely concerned about me. They're genuinely concerned about whether or not I'm hurting people in my life, taking advantage of people in my life. I'm sure there's people out there who are genuinely concerned.
Yeah, here's the thing. A lot of people accuse me of accusing everybody of being a troll. And that's not true. When I respond to somebody on Twitter and I call them a troll, I do my homework. I'll go to their profile, I'll go down their tweet timeline, you know, and I'll see, 2 weeks ago, Michael and Bridget show a full body shot because you're too humiliated to show her. Oh, Michael, go on a diet. That's a troll. You know what I mean? That's not somebody concerned for.
I've seen Bridget. She's not a bad looking girl, man. I don't know why people keep saying that either.
Well, it's like, I don't film her full body really because she's okay with it.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it because I do have anger problems, okay? I have anger problems.
Tristan, if you're still in here, I'd film your whole body, baby girl. All of that beautiful body.
And
then I'd protect you from all these men trying to steal you away. All right? Me and you, baby girl. Me and you.
I get really angry when I see people making fun of her because without Bridget, I wouldn't have survived.
Because that's something you and I have talked about. Like, they can say whatever the hell they want to about me. They can say whatever the hell they want to about you. But when they pick on somebody you love, man.
Yeah, and then that's what it is. When people make fun of my friends, when they make fun of the people that I love, you can say whatever you want about me. I don't care. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm fat. It is what it is. I cry. I clickbait. But when I see people saying like, oh, Bridget's so fat and disgusting, she's one of the greatest people that I know. And she's been with me.
She's put up with a lot of your crap, man.
We started dating, and she slept on a twin-size mattress with roaches crawling on us in Trailwood.
Yeah, Trailwood.
And people say, oh, she's there for the money. I didn't have a dime in Trailwood. I didn't have anything. I worked for Paul Heyman, and all of my money went to the bills. We lived on $100 a month.
That's going to be like you, Tristan. Tristan, you've been here the whole journey, right? You've been with me since, like, I had, like, 100 subscribers. Tristan's my ride or die girl. Yeah.
2012, I got my first YouTube check.
Yeah.
And what did we do with it? We went to CC's Pizza. You know what I mean? Yeah. We weren't even allowed in CC's Pizza, dude. Dad's banned from that place. Okay?
I remember seeing the video from that. Yeah.
People want to say if it's fake or not. He ain't allowed in CC's Pizza. He was till death.
Right.
Sounds like a pretty well put together guy.
He's not allowed in that restaurant. You know?
Okay, so let's. I want to ask you a hard question, Michael. I mean, you guys fight in the vlogs.
Yeah.
And a lot of people will say if that's what he thinks is appropriate to show for the video, what is he not showing? I mean, do you guys fight off camera? Is it worse when have you ever hit Bridget?
Never. Dad raised me that a man who puts his hands on a woman isn't a man at all.
Amen.
And I believe that. I would never lay a hand on Bridget. I have a thing, and Bridget's problem when we're arguing is she don't want to let it go. She wants to keep doing this when I'm ready to walk away. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go to the room. I'm going to listen to music. She follows me into the room, But in terms of like as bad as it gets, the vlogs are, one, whether they're real or not is, up in the air. Okay?
Right, of course, right. Yeah.
It's up in the air. That's for you to decide. But number two...
No, I'm just going to say, clearly sometimes when you guys are having a slow day, I see you pick a fight with her for no other reason than just to have content. I'm just going to say that. I don't
Listen,
care if
you
you're
know my personality off videos, okay?
Right.
The things that, like, are Uber rides, okay?
Right, you just like to play. You just like to have fun.
Exactly. I like to mess with people. And sometimes I get enjoyment out of messing with Bridget a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, I'll be like, I saw that look you gave me.
Right.
Just, what look? That look. And the look didn't exist. I'm having fun, but at some point in my having fun, she's so mad that now I'm mad. Even though I created this dynamic, I created it, now we're fighting. But in terms of like real fights, not that many.
Because you guys have been together for 10
So wait, that's not a real fight? When he messes with her and she gets mad, and she gets so mad that it gets him mad and they start fighting, that's not a real fight. Okay. Just wanna clarify that.
10 years. I only made it 7 with my ex-wife. You guys have been together a decade.
There's been times where I wanted to head out. I'm like, I'm done,
Right.
But it's never gotten to the point where I want to lay a hand on her. Like, I've broken stuff. Definitely. It's like if I'm pissed, I'll break something, and that's...
Tristan, my beautiful girlfriend. Tristan, can you tell everybody in the chat how many times you've seen me get so angry that I broke some stuff? All right? And now, here's my assumption. Wait, hold on. Here's my assumption. My prediction is Boogie's going to try to say, like, yeah, I've done some stuff like that, too. Yeah. That's my Boogie impression.
That's not okay. You know what I mean?
Of course, yeah.
But a lot of that
Oh, he said
was
it's not okay.
probably 2013, 2014, and I've gotten a lot better at coping with that. But I would never lay a hand on Bridget. I would never, sometimes I do have anger problems, and the worst thing that I do is...
I'm telling you right now, I am almost 100% certain, and Tristan, you can correct me if I'm wrong. If Tristan was up in here, or when we move in together next week, if I threw some shit up against the wall or broke it, like in an argument, she'd be like, peace out. Tristan don't play that shit. But I guess me neither, so that's where we work.
Because I say stuff that I shouldn't say.
I do that too, yeah, I get that for sure.
I have a fight or flight complex, right?
Right.
And I don't fight. I have a fight or flight. I will say anything that I...
That's not a thing. That's not, by the way, for anybody, welcome to the Rewired Soul Mental Health channel. Fight or fight complex is not a thing.
I have to say.
Yeah. I've seen it, trust me, I've seen it.
Anytime that we get into an argument, my brain is telling me, oh, we're breaking up this time. I'm just going to let it all out. And I say stuff that I don't mean. I say troll stuff to her. I'll say some of the stuff that people are saying about her, and she doesn't deserve it. And I've kind of hurt her, self-esteem in some ways with that.
What a piece of shit. By the way, okay, let's talk about relationship stuff real quick. Ladies, I know I got men in here too. Don't deal with that shit. Do not deal with that shit. I'm telling you right now, don't put up with that. You don't deserve that. Oh, it's okay. He was just mad. So he just said, that is some awful shit. I've dated women like that. I used to be like that as a guy. man, like, whoo, I was a piece of shit. like, do not deal with that stuff. That is not okay. That's not normal. That is fucking verbally abusive and emotionally abusive. Don't do that. Yeah, see, Jamie, see, Jamie, we're both in, Jamie and I are in our anger recovery. But yeah, everybody in this chat, everybody watching this replay, let me clap it out again. Don't put up with that shit. Alright? And if you're thinking about putting up with that shit, tweet at me and I'll remind you not to put up with that shit. Okay? Okay.
But I've apologized and I don't do it anymore. You know, it's the old me. And it's one of the things that I do have to work on, because I did grow up in a house where Dad did do that to my mom. He was verbally abusive, absolutely.
Right.
I mean, I've never hid that from anybody.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, that's just the dynamic I grew up in, and part of me sort of thought that was okay. And Dad, of all people, is the one who told me to stop doing it.
Of course, and that's the thing, and I barely knew your dad. I never got to meet the guy. But that's something that we talked about. He softened up so much once he was out of that trailer park. Once they weren't desperate to make ends meet, once they weren't desperate to provide for the kids and the grandkids, I mean, that man became a completely different person.
Yeah, I make no attempt to hide the fact that YouTube changed his life.
Yeah.
I said it in his eulogy that the last 10 years of his life, I'm so happy that I was, because of the youngins and because of the fans and the trolls, to a regard, I was able to give him a life that I never dreamed I would be able to give. You know, I thought that when Dad died, we would be in a trailer and it would be really sad and we'd be struggling to like find a way to bury him.
Yeah.
And with those last 10 years, that's not what happened, man. Something flipped, and like we found purpose, and we found this audience that loves us, and they loved him. I didn't know how many people loved him.
Yeah.
It was so unbelievable. Like, I get emotional thinking about it, man. People loved him.
Because I'll tell you what I loved about your dad is I very much saw my mom in him. And as much as I hated the things my mom did, I loved that woman. And I could see that your dad was torn between his abusive nature, the verbal abuse, the tantrums and everything else, and genuinely loving you kids and genuinely caring about you and genuinely wanting to provide for you and provide for the youngins, the fans and the kids and interact with these people. And it's so amazing that in the last 10 years of his life, he got to enjoy that. And I talked to you so much off camera and heard so many stories about him just becoming a much better person. Like the person he was always trying to be, he got to be that before he died, and that's because of YouTube. So one of the things that
You guys, I'm so angry about everything. I'm like trying to do like active like mindfulness to calm my emotions down as watching this. Like, I don't know. It's I'm trying to balance my head out because I made a video about trying to forgive my alcoholic mom, right? So I get it, but I don't know. It just sounds like a lot of this like, oh, it was okay. It was all right. You know, like I'm just like trying to like, oh my God. And part of it is because I work in the mental health space. And by the way, I'm not a licensed therapist, but I know some of the traits and skills and all that. Like it's like, I'm sorry that happened to you. That's not okay, you know? So, I don't know. Mother, this is messing me up. Q-Star, what did you do? Q-Star, you brought me into this shit. Well, we got to suffer together, baby. We got to suffer together.
I see you accused of all the time. I get accused of this stuff as well. Is racism and homophobia and your dad. I mean, obviously he's a 67-year-old man, so there's going to be some innate racism there. I mean, that guy lived through segregation, for God's sakes. But beyond that, I mean, was he a racist person? Because in your videos, I've seen clips of videos that make it look like he's raised like harassing Mexicans. And, you know what I'm talking about?
Okay, I know what you're talking about. That's the Border Patrol videos. Those were skits.
Well, okay, but I mean, like...
In the early days of YouTube, you would do real stuff mixed with skits.
Right. I mean, obviously, I did it too.
we all did that, you know? And one of the skits Dad wanted to do, back at the time, the hot button subject was immigration.
Right.
And Dad was like, hey, what if I, a fan sent him a hat that said Border Patrol. He was like, hey, Mike, what if we did videos where I was the Border Patrol agent? And so we had this friend named Edwin. He was a Mexican, and he was actually an illegal immigrant. And Dad would give him money to, like, pressure wash the house and try to...
Whoa! Hey, Michael, let's say, there's a lot of stuff going on in our country right now. Like, let's calm down with all this.
Help his family because they were really struggling to make ends meet. And he was like, hey, would you want to do a video where I, come up and ask for your green card? That'd be kind of funny. And he was like, yeah, that's great, Grandpa, let's do it. So we did the video, and we uploaded it as a sketch, and people re-uploaded it as a racist old man driving through a trailer park harassing Mexican immigrants,
What about, like, there's one video where he's one of the kids is playing with, like, an oven, and he called the kid gay. Like, is that how he acted in real life, or is this he's hamming up for the video?
Those were the early YouTube days where we were hamming it up heavily. Right. We had just started getting our first money ever. Like, we'd sold Grandpa Ruins Christmas to Break.com for $1,000. We're like, oh my God.
Oh yeah.
We can buy dinner, we can pay the light bill, we can do stuff for the first.
Hey, remember that time it was okay that Logan Paul filmed a dead body in Japan? Just, like, it's cool. It's cool. It was for YouTube. We good, baby. We're okay. Get the fuck out of here.
Time. So we went on this crazy, like, trip of video, just non-stop, constantly. And in one of those videos, there was like, it's so long ago I barely remember any of this, but I do remember one of my nephews got like a kitchen set or something for Christmas or something. And I think he did make the comment, "It's gonna be gay." Now, Dad was in support of gays. He was LGBT. I don't know the
LGBTQ. Yeah.
Oh. Hold on. Did you hear Michael right there? Hold on.
Dad was in support of gays. He was LGBT.
Oh God! Somebody clip that.
Gay. Now, Dad was in support of gays. He was LGBT.
LGBT. Look, and Boogie still has to help him out.
I don't know the
LGBTQ, yeah.
He was totally in support of all that stuff, you know what I mean? But
yeah, all that stuff.
There's also videos where he's being supportive of oppressed groups. He's being supportive of people, but off camera. What I want to know is off camera. What was he like off camera? Was he racist?
He wasn't racist. He wasn't homophobic. Like,
give me some examples.
Like, I don't have...
Wait, what? Hold on. Did you guys hear that? Wait, hold on. I was typing. Let me see. Hold on.
Being supportive of
all that stuff. LGBT, I don't know the
LGBTQ, yeah.
He was totally in support of all that stuff, you know what I mean? But at the time...
Because there's also videos where he's being supportive of oppressed groups. He's being supportive of people... But off camera. What I want to know is off camera. What was he like off camera? Was he racist?
He wasn't racist. He wasn't homophobic. Like...
Give me some examples.
Hold on. Did you guys hear what just happened in the interview? Michael says, like, you guys, like, this is how, like, quote-unquote good this interview is going. Michael says he wasn't racist, he wasn't homophobic. And then Boogie says, give me some examples. The fuck does that mean? Like, what does that mean? Like, like, what? Like, give me some examples? Like... He wasn't a murderer. Okay, give me some examples about how he wasn't a murderer. Like, what the fuck? Like, that is... Boogie. What are you doing? Yeah, right, Tristan? Well, he never said this, he never said that. I've never seen him just beat somebody who was a part of the LGBT or whatever community. Holy shit, this is a joke. Maybe this was staged. Maybe this was staged like all the abuse videos. Oh my lord.
Like, I don't have many examples. It's just he wasn't like that. I never heard anything. You know?
Right.
Like, he was...
Like, I remember, hold on, I gotta stop again. Like 2 or 3 days ago when Boogie made a different video, he was like, we're still doing some editing. Like, why didn't you cut that part out? Like, who was editing that and said, you know what? That's a hard-hitting question. Let's keep that in the interview. Give me examples about how Angry Grandpa was not a racist or a homophobe. Leave that in the interview. The fuck out of here. Oh my god, I can't handle this. I cannot handle this.
Totally in support.
Any positive examples? Like, did he ever march? Did he petition? Did he...
Well...
Do you hear that, everybody? Now, don't get me wrong. I think you should support, whatever it is. But like, did he ever march? Did he ever petition? How many of the charities? How much did he donate to the Trevor Project? Huh?
There is a thing that happened during the civil rights era. There was this march in Charleston, and I don't remember who was marching, but they were walking down West Ashley, and Dad let them get into his car. He had this like open backed car, and they were able to get on the back of the car, and he drove them down the street, and it ended up in the newspaper.
Isn't that crazy how like Boogie baited Michael into virtue signaling?
And
Really?
Dad got kicked out of his house. His mom wanted nothing to do with him. She was racist. His mom was totally racist.
Right.
She kicked him out of the house, said she never wanted to speak to him again, and he took off and he went to Woodstock for he was young, like a young man.
Right.
He runs off to Woodstock and he doesn't come home for another 2 years.
So I think a lot of people, being a 44-year-old guy, the world has changed a lot, right?
Yeah.
And so sometimes I think when people accuse me of like being racist or homophobic, it's just because I don't understand sometimes. But I always have the best of intentions. And
Of course.
I think your dad had the best of intentions.
Of course.
Even with the Border Patrol video. Obviously, we would make that video in 2018.
No, there's a lot.
We'd make that video in 2009.
There's a lot of videos that you would make then that you wouldn't make now. The landscape has changed so much.
Right.
Back then, we didn't ask ourselves, hey, is this going to offend people? We never asked that because we didn't care. You know what I mean? We wanted to do something that was funny.
Right.
Now it's like, wait a minute, is this going to offend people? You have to ask these questions.
And I don't even worry about offending people because people are going to be offended by anything you do. What I worry about, I don't want to cause actual harm, right?
Well, of
That's
course.
one of the reasons I toned down the Francis bit is because I don't want people thinking that's how I actually act, right? I don't want them to think it's okay to act that way. And so that's why I wouldn't make a Border Patrol video today because I don't want to incentivize those guys or make them normalize that or make those guys think it's okay
Right.
to be that way.
It's like in the same vein as you have like this Jesse character, right?
Oh yeah, I love him, and I can't do him anymore.
Right. So like, does that make you racist or white supremacist or any of that stuff? Of course not.
Right. Well,
it's a character.
Well, that was the whole thing about the Jesse character is he was progressive. He was a progressive redneck.
Right.
He had a gay kid, and he loves his gay child, and even though the church tells him not to, but the problem is you can't even bring up the topic of race anymore. You can't bring up the topic of sexuality anymore, especially as someone who's straight and white and male. Like you have to be really careful of that stuff. And so that's what I think it really comes down to is we wouldn't make those videos anymore because we don't want to cause any problems. We don't want to hurt anybody. And we certainly don't want to start any controversy.
Of course.
That's the thing. Like, everybody accuses you of loving controversy, starting controversy. That could be the most controversial thing you could do in the world, right?
Yeah.
And obviously...
Boogie. Holy shit, I hope next year at the Streamies, they have, and the worst interviewer ever award goes to Boogie. Yay, Boogie! This is just the most biased. Yeah, see, it's I don't even have to. If you were controversial, okay, let's bring it back to President Trump, right? President Trump, if you were racist, why would you have Mexican housekeepers? Huh? President Trump? If you're so racist, how come you have that black intern? Huh? Mr. President Trump? What are you doing, Boogie? What are you doing? By the way, I'm sorry if I offended any Trump supporters, but...
You would never go that far.
I hate controversy, man. I get so tired of there always being a fight and a battle and a fire to put out. You know what I mean?
That's YouTube in 2018. Man.
Yeah, man. And it's
eighth grade.
it's like sometimes you just want a way out. Sometimes, you know what I mean? It's like because it's so much to deal with, and they accuse you of so many lies, and it's like I might come off a little jaded in this video, and I don't want to. I don't mean to be aggressive.
You're defensive, but I mean, I get why you're defensive. I'm throwing it all at you right now. I get.
Boogie2988, the hard-hitting questions. What?
When it comes to like being defensive about me, I don't care. You know, you can accuse me of anything. I'm defensive over Dad because I know how good of a person he was.
And that's his legacy. You know?
Yeah, exactly. And then they're trying to change his legacy. You know, here's a story I don't know if we've ever told. Dad was the bus driver for a church in West Ashley. And he goes to pick up the kids for Sunday school. And there was this little black girl. She wanted.
Oh my God! Just stop it. Hold on, let me play this in. So, and by the way, I think some of you watched my Sky Williams video. I'm half black, so some of this stuff just like bugs me. Like, what is he gonna say? Oh yeah, he drove for a church, and then this little black girl got on, right? And then the KKK came running after her, and Dad just jumped out, and he just started like kung fu fighting everybody, right? He took somebody's KKK hood off, and he strangled him with it. Like, what is all this shit happening? Like, let me give you proof how unracist that is.
To get on the bus. And Dad wasn't going to tell her no. Come on in, honey. Right on the bus. And he took her to church. And they fired him.
You're kidding.
He was no longer the bus driver.
What year was that?
I never.
This is going to turn into like Dad was just watching that, remember that 90s show, Martin? Yeah, Dad was watching that on TV, and he got kicked out of town. They ran him out. You remember that show, Martin? Like, what? What is this shit? Oh, my God. Like, how come every time he does, like, the basic thing for an African-American, I can't. I just cannot.
I've heard the story a couple of times, but they kicked him out of the church. They ostracized the entire family.
You're kidding.
And they told the little girl she had to go home.
I mean, I'm not surprised. I grew up close to where you were. I've heard this stuff all the time. You know, I got tortured for dating a woman of color in my teens, so I get it. But
there's stuff like that I saw the side of Dad. There's stuff like when, like Trayvon Martin, when George Zimmerman.
You guys, stop it! Stop it! Now he's gonna bring up Trayvon Martin. Like, this is almost worse. Holy shit! My dad was the personal chef for Martin Luther King Jr., okay? I can't handle this. I cannot handle this.
Was found not guilty, and I saw Dad actually cry off camera.
You're kidding, man.
He cried because this kid's dead. This guy's clearly racist. This is clearly racially motivated, and it broke Dad's heart. There's been police shootings. Dad's always been off camera and on camera on that side. When Barilla Pasta was saying they don't want gay people buying their pasta, he never bought another Barilla noodle again.
Really?
He stopped buying them. We did a video where he took them all out, and this is 100% real. Sometimes our videos, like, hey, Mike, here's what I want to do, and he wants to rant a little bit. This one, film. And he took Barilla pasta, and he threw it, broke it, and he screamed, and he was 100% serious.
Good.
Was he, did he do stupid stuff on camera? Of course. We all have.
Of course.
We all have videos we're not proud of. Like, there's tons of videos I regret making. So many of them, like, I look back on it, I was a stupid person sometimes. You can't control who you were then, you know what I mean?
Right.
We've said stupid stuff. There's a video that I, to this day, regret making where I look at a picture of Jesus, and I took silly string, it was like, you, Jesus, and I spray it.
Whoa.
I was trying to be edgy, and
Look at that reaction.
I took silly string, it was like, you, Jesus, and I spray it.
Whoa.
Hold on, you guys see how surprised Boogie is right there? Look at that. Hold on. That, you cannot You could not fake that. Look how surprised he is. You sprayed silly string on a picture of Jesus? What? What? Alright, sorry. Hold on, let me fit this back. Fit the screen. There you go.
I was trying to be edgy, and I used to have like an upside down American flag in my room. I thought I was so
That was
cool.
your James Gunn moment, right?
Right. I thought I was so cool and different. And I look back now, it's like, I heard a lot of people doing that. You know, I shouldn't have done that. The upside down American flag, you know, people died for that flag. You know what I mean? But I wasn't looking at it like that. I used to say, oh, the country's in distress, man. That's why it's up. I didn't know what I was talking about.
Of course.
You know?
And that's the reason I'm always in a position. You sometimes you say I back down too easy. I'm always in a position where I want to learn. If I'm doing something wrong, genuinely wrong, I want to learn what I'm doing wrong. I want to get better, right? Because I am far from perfect. I've been, as I was growing up, I was as far from perfect as you can get. I was a monster in my 20s, man. I was a terrible, terrible person doing some of the same stuff. I would argue with my friends who were Christian, trying to destroy their Christianity because I couldn't have that comfort. Why do they deserve it, you know?
Right.
But now, as an adult, I've learned from it, and I'm eager to learn too. But I think you've learned so much. And to know where you've come from with your dad and in that home and in that trailer park, to see you as the person you are today, you're far from perfect, Mike. But I think you're so much better than where you came from. It's not just how close you are to the finish line. It's how far you had to travel. Some people started on the start line. With you and I, we started out in the fucking parking lot.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I'm a liberal. You know what I mean? People give me crap for that all the time. You know?
Right.
I just couldn't imagine, like, I don't want to do some sort of, like, political division.
No, but here's what I will say. I think you and I have a very common philosophy. We have a live and let live philosophy. And I don't care what your political stance is. I don't care what your sexual choices. I don't care who or what you want to be, right? As long as you're not harming somebody else. And I don't think you're harming somebody else by voting one way or the other. I don't think you're harming somebody else by choosing a certain sexuality or choosing a certain gender.
I don't mean to get political, but like voting one way or the other can harm people. Like, what?
I don't think you're harming anybody, even yourself. Then just live and let live. Just do whatever you want to do. And that's something you and I have always had in common. But here's what I will say. So Michael, look, we're going long here. I mean, this is like final Jake Paul episode long.
I told you, you know, you can ask me absolutely anything.
So here's what what do you have to say?
It's not. The Jake Paul finale was like 2 hours.
To my audience, your audience, you have a voice, but I have a small audience, half the size of yours, but...
You have twice the size of my audience, man.
Well, I have the subs, but I mean, they're all dead. They're not watching anymore. My channel's dead right now.
I don't mean to laugh. He's been saying this the whole time, dude. While we're traveling around, he's just like, my channel's dead. It's not dead. It's YouTube. It's not the channel. It's
well,
YouTube.
We'll see. Either way, man, I'm gonna be struggling on mortgage next week. No, I'm fine. I'm joking. But for my audience, who all these people said, don't work with you. Don't work with. I will unsub. I won't even talk. I won't even watch another Boogie video if you dare talk to that guy. What kind of closing arguments do you have for your audience, for my audience, for the people who've never heard of you before? What do you have to say, man? This is all you. It's whatever you. This. I'm giving you my platform. Say whatever you want to say.
I'll just respond to everything in one like little thing.
Do it.
Like, first the clickbait. I'm sorry. You know, I can't stop. I can't not clickbait. You know, I come to Colorado.
Should I make a video about clickbait addiction?
I can't call the video traveling to Colorado. Nobody's going to watch it. And as much as I would rather do something like that, I've also got a family to take care of. I've got I don't got grandkids. Grandpa, my nephews, I take care of.
I got LGBT grandkids.
My entire family rely on me, and I take care of them. And sometimes to do that, I got to clickbait. And, like... if that's something that you can't support, I understand, you know? Like I've always said, thank you for the support to this point, and if you're hopping off at this point, then I'm going to miss you and I'm sorry to see you go. But this is something that I've got to continue doing. When it comes to the racism, like a lot of that stuff was stupid skits. You shouldn't do that kind of stuff on the internet, man. But at the time of the early days, we never knew what our YouTube was going to get to, so we were just throwing caution to the wind and just doing everything crazy. It was like Andy Kaufman. Right? Like, do whatever you have to do, and be damned who doesn't like.
Yeah, this guy's the next Andy Kaufman.
And who it offends. And we learned from doing that you can't do that. You can't live your life that way. it's not healthy for you. It's not healthy for the people watching it. You're going to offend people unrightfully. And I learned that about midway into our YouTube, and I stopped doing it, right? But his grandkids, the abuse out.
You know, it'd be an interesting question that Boogie asked. It'd be an interesting question. He said, so why did you defend Daddy of 5 and then delete the video where you were defending him?
Allegations are the most hurtful and harmful, because I saw a man that you guys didn't see. I saw the man that went to all those school functions. The man who cried when he watched my nephew JC go to Willow Gray because he wanted to change his life. The man who told me on his deathbed, no matter what, make sure those kids don't go without. The man who loved his youngins so much that he wanted them to come to his funeral. As much as I wanted to make that a private affair, as much as I wanted that to just be family and friends, he wanted you guys there. And that's the person that I saw growing up. Dad was my hero, and I miss him. And I wish I wouldn't have to use his name for videos. But sometimes that's just how it happens. Sometimes that's just my life. And I'm sorry if that offends you guys too.
I mean, I personally know you're just working through it, man.
It's still fresh.
I know. I mean, and my mom's been dead since 2009, and I still miss her. And people wonder why. They're like, Boogie, you hated her. I'm like, I hated her, but I loved her, right? I mean, I saw her every Christmas. I saw her every birthday. I saw her every chance I had, you know?
Yeah.
So it's tough.
This is something that I play myself before bed. And no one's ever heard this before. It was my last voicemail from Dad. And I've saved it.
Just want to congratulate you and Bishop for another year. Hope you all have fun tonight, and it's cool. Give me a call. Bye.
It was my anniversary. And he called me. So I got left. And Mike, what do you know, man? I missed him. I wish I didn't miss him so bad.
Jesus, Mike. Jesus Christ. Can we cut? Can we just cut?
Yeah. It doesn't discriminate. It hits us all. There is no one look. It is my routine. It is my life.
I'm sorry for cutting in. I just, you know. But
I can't hide it, dude. I've been an emotional wreck. You know what I mean? And I'm better now than I was then. So you can imagine how bad it was. Like, I was crying myself to sleep every night.
I mean, people don't know this, but we were on the phone a couple times a month after your dad passed, and we talked about this stuff.
There were times where I don't know if I would have made it the night if you didn't get that phone call.
Well, exactly the same thing. I mean, you were helping me through my divorce at the same time, man, so...
It's the most painful thing I've ever gone through. It's the most traumatic.
These guys are way too close for this to be an interview. They are like super close. Super close.
Thing I'm still learning life without him. Yeah. And it's so hard. And I see these people accuse him of like all these abuse allegations, and I just remember all the stuff that he did and all the love that he had for those grandkids, and that's what hurts the most, to see them accuse him of that, because this is a man, and this has never been said before, I don't believe. Mom had a big freak out back in January of like 2011, and she like carved stuff into my dad's car, like, because she was accusing him of cheating and he wasn't, but like she just wanted to leave, she wanted out, and they made up, and DSF came to the house and they said, listen, the kid's got to come out of the house because of her.
Oh, wow.
Dad divorced her.
Is that what that was all about?
Dad divorced her because he was going to choose them over her, because she was clearly ready to go. It was clearly over, and I'm not going to lose my grandkids over it. And he fought for those grandkids till the day he died. When Jacob was doing bad in school, he would go to the school and he would talk to him, and they loved him at that school. You know what I mean? If he was so abusive, they would have taken those kids a long time ago. They would have taken them from me if those other accusations were true, right? Like, none of that's true, and they don't realize you're hurting real people when you do that. You're not just hurting me, you're hurting the kids.
Oh, you poor thing.
Like, they got to be taken out of class sometimes to talk to DSS over made-up allegations, and that's not fair.
Yeah.
That's abuse.
So one last question I have for you, and this I think is really important. When it comes to the allegations and stuff that are levied against,
like, could you imagine? I wonder what it would be like if Boogie interviewed Daddy of 5. You know? Like,
sometimes it's baseless. Sometimes it's constructive criticism, and this is something I struggle with all the time. It's so hard to tell, especially when you're so defensive. I'm so defensive, and I think you are too. Which is the constructive criticism, and which is the just people trying to get at you, right?
Right.
But when you hear constructive criticism, are you ready to change in those ways? Are you ready to grow? Are you ready to say that maybe this is the equivalent of me hanging the flag upside down? Maybe this is the equivalent of me spraying on the wall, anti-Christian stuff. Like, are you willing to listen and to grow and to change to the right people? Maybe not your audience right now, because I know they're filled with 20% of your audience hate watches. I know that. And most of the people who love you, they never say anything, right?
Yeah.
But when it comes to my constructive criticism, or McJuggernuggets, Jesse's, or the rest of it, are you willing to grow? Are you willing to change? Or are you willing to learn?
When it comes from people that I know love me,
Right.
Absolutely.
Because on Twitter, you come across as like just shutting everybody down instantly.
But see, the reason I do that is I'll go to their profile and I'll see they are not doing constructive criticism. They'll claim they are,
Right.
but you can just go down their timeline and you can tell who is and isn't causing. Sometimes I have gone at people that didn't deserve it, gone back over their profile and then apologized.
Right. That's literally when somebody hits me on Twitter now, I will look at their replies to people.
Exactly.
And if it's just all hateful replies, I'm like, oh, I don't need to worry about this guy because they don't really mean it. But like if I go to somebody's profile and it's an LGBTQ community member who's very open and honest and actually just wants to engage positively and teach me what I'm doing wrong, obviously that's the person I'm going to talk to. And
there's so much. There's so much. But if I go to their profile and they're a LGBTQ person, holy shit.
when you see me apologize, I'm not apologizing because someone who's toxic has taught me. I apologize because someone who's not toxic has taught me how to be a better person, right? But you're willing to grow, you're willing to change.
I'm willing to grow, but one thing I won't do is something that I have accused you of this.
Sure.
Is eventually, when you give in so many times, they're going to make you give in to everything.
And they try.
And not everything that I do is worth giving into.
Oh, I will too. I mean, yeah, exactly. Me too. I mean, I give in to a lot.
I mean, listen, I'm a good person. You know what I mean? Like, I give to charities. I take care of my family. I'm not this inhuman monster that they try to make me out to be. And if I do something stupid, I'm not going to like if it's worth apologizing for, I'm going to. Like when we parked in the handicap space, which we didn't even park there. We did this picture where I said we're savages. I apologized for that because I was wrong. But the other stuff, I'm not gonna apologize.
Wait, so he parked there, but he didn't park there. Like he didn't really park there, but he just parked there.
Apologize for it because they're wrong. And they're trying to pull skeletons.
But that's a perfect example of you learning and growing, right? Like even I don't want to make that kind of joke anymore, right? I don't want to encourage that kind of behavior, right? And I love that about you.
It was stupid, yeah.
Here's something. The reason I feel a kinship with you, and the reason I feel a kinship with your dad, is not just the.
How many hardcore interviews have you heard say that quote? Okay. How many hardcore interviews have you heard this quote in?
It was stupid, yeah.
Here's something. The reason I feel a kinship with you, and the reason I feel a kinship with your dad, is not.
Like, how many hardcore interviews have you seen where someone's talking about the kinship they feel with the person they're interviewing?
Just, the abusive past and how we share that and how we will deal with all that misery, but we're growing up poor. But it's the fact that I genuinely think that you are a good person who does bad things sometimes. And I know that your dad was a good person, son of a bitch.
Probably a fan.
That's just the icing on the cake right there. Right there, just what could make this video worse? Just a phone ringing randomly.
Hold the ring.
Oh yeah. Literally fans calling in the middle of an interview.
Hello? Yes, it is. Oh, what? No, who's this?
What the fuck am I watching right now? Like, what?
No, yeah. We do YouTube. And so these are fans that are trying to get through to the room. I was hoping that I could put some do not disturb or something.
Oh, okay. All right. I will not transfer anybody through.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
They do it every time, man. When I was staying in Las Vegas, somebody actually tricked me, and this is going to be some moment that they're going to enjoy hearing. I did a video where I raised my hand through a swimming pool in Vegas, and somebody calls me, Boogie, as the Environmental Protection Agency. And they told me that because I touched it, they had to drain the pool because it was freshly like chemicaled.
Right.
And I was going to have to pay that, and they were like really mad at me, and I believed it.
That's insane.
And it wasn't real.
That's insane.
It wasn't real.
This is what they do.
That's the kind of life we live, man.
That's what they do.
And a lot of times I love it. When people stop me on the streets, I love it. When people ask me for pictures, I love it. But when somebody sends a picture of Bridget and they said, ha, 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 look how fat she is, and they call it constructive criticism, what's the constructive criticism?
Right.
That my girlfriend's fat?
Yeah, she's aware. She owns a mirror. Okay, good. Well, here's what we're going to do, Mike. What was the thing I was saying right before the phone call? It'll be the last thing I want to say anyway. What was the last thing?
Remember.
All right, guys. Well, look, Michael, I think you've done a great job here. Here's what I want to say. I think your dad and you and me have something in common. There's a kinship I feel here, and it's very simple. I think you're a good guy who does bad, stupid stuff every once in a while, and I'm not going to lie, and I'm just the same way, and it sounds like your dad was too. And I hope my audience who is unaware of Michael gives him a fair shot. For those of you who already had an opinion about him, I don't know if this changed your mind or not. Let us know in the comments section below. If you want me to do more stuff like this in the future, let me know by dropping a like on this video. Hit subscribe if you haven't. You want to check out Kid Behind the Camera, or just go remember his dad on the Angry Grandpa channel. Some of the best rage videos I've ever seen. They did what I did with the Francis character 10 times better. Anything else you want to say, Mike?
You know, just to the people that support me, man, I love you guys. I thank you guys for everything. For the trolls, whatever, you know, to the people that are just giving criticism, I apologize if sometimes I do come off as jaded, but I am jaded. You know, the community, because of the trolls, I don't know anymore. So right. I lash out at sometimes people that I shouldn't, and I apologize for that. And I apologize if I had clickbait, but that's the game, you know?
It really is. Sometimes I wonder if I'm the one idiot who doesn't know enough to clickbait. Guys, as always, thanks for watching. I love you very much. We'll speak with you again soon.
I'm speechless. Like, I don't know. That was an experience, and I appreciate all of you who endured that with me. I'm glad that Q-Star had to watch it again for a second time with me and endure it. Like, now I feel a little bit better because he's had to go through that twice. Q-Star, I'm sorry you had to go through that on your own the first time, but oh my lord. There was so much, final thoughts from Chris, there was so much that wasn't discussed. It was the most biased interview ever. Like, could you imagine, like, your friend being accused of something? You said, no, excuse me, everybody, I'm going to be the one who interviews them about this. Like, oh my god. Q-Star, should I make a video how to calm down after the Kid Behind the Camera interview? How to manage your feelings after the Kid Behind... Oh my. Well, anyways, I'm gonna restart the live stream just so this saves. All right, so hang on 1 second, everybody. Oh, that's Fortnite. Whoops. Whoopsie. Oh. Oh, wait. No. It's just resuming the stream? No. Whatever. I thought I was going to, like, save it and then do something else. What the hell? What the hell? I haven't eaten dinner yet. What's happening? Hold on, everybody. November 9th, huh? I got demonetized. Wait. Hold on. What is that? Oh, that's like the old stream. What? What? I'm so tired and now mad. Oh boy. I wonder how Zach's doing on the video. Wonder how Zach's doing on the video. Let's see. I have to pee, but I don't want to get up. I just went pee, Jamie. Do your thing. Do your thing. I'm seeing how long Zach's gonna take. Oh, Zach's rendering the new video. The new video is gonna be a nice palate cleanser for everybody. Maybe I'll hang out until the new video's up. I'm rage eating after watching that. I'm about to cook dinner. Everybody go pee. Everybody take your potty breaks. All right? A healthy pee schedule really helps with the mental health. Oh yeah. While we wait, why don't we go back?
He's making a list. Chocolate so be good for goodness sake. Oh, yeah.
Q's gotta listen to himself again.
Kid Behind a Camera and Angry Grandpa are not what they seem. If you're not familiar with Angry Grandpa and Kid Behind a Camera, they're best known for their freak-out videos. You know, Angry Grandpa will get mad at Kid Behind a Camera, aka Michael, and he'll freak out and destroy some of his stuff like he's destroying this PS4 right now. And it's all kind of framed as a joke. You know, we're all in on it. We know that Angry Grandpa's not actually this angry, and this destruction of property is only going to get them tons of views, and whatever money that they make off of AdSense is going to heavily outweigh the price of that destroyed PS4. But I think that all of this anger and destruction comes from a very real place, and we have a lot of evidence to back that up here today. And before we get into the gritty details, the evidence of abuse that has occurred on these channels, and what I believe to be the psychology behind why you would broadcast this to the internet, I would just like to give a major shout out to Primink, because if I had not seen his video, Kid Behind a Camera, The Untold Abuse Story, I would have no idea what was going on here. It's an amazing video, and I highly recommend you check it out. Also, Roasted Studios created a compilation of abuse that has occurred at the hands of Kid Behind a Camera and Angry Grandpa, and that video that she created was actually removed for community guidelines violations. And there are theories that that was Kid Behind the Camera flagging that video to try and cover up the truth, but those are just theories. There's no way to prove that, and there will be links to Primink's video and Roasted Studios channel in the description. But let's get into the nitty-gritty here. Let's get into the disgusting behavior that has been displayed by both Angry Grandpa and Kid Behind a Camera. And I just wanted to establish really quickly that all of these clips are from like 2011 and before, which is just a thing to note. What you're about to see is a clip of an Angry Grandpa Christmas freakout, and if you're familiar with the Angry Grandpa channel, this is not at all out of character. They do these
Hold on. Wait.
there, and they decided to broadcast it to their YouTube channel.
So shit at me. So shit back. You don't throw that at your goddamn bottle. You understand me? You don't gotta be a queer.
What?
A queer. He ain't a queer. He ain't a goddamn queer.
I keep putting that pressure
Try
back.
this shit.
Yeah, like DSS is like, oh, well, it was on YouTube. That's okay. Oh, and then hold on this.
You man, this goddamn, I'm part of crust. Whoa! No!
So as you can see, he calls the kid homophobic slurs over and over again, and then throws packed hit grandpa, but it's disgusting. We're sharing with us footage.
Hold on, where's the other one I want to show you guys? Hold on.
Ducks, and then here I am, and it crashes in my fucking face.
So yeah,
wait.
hell, these.
Hold on. Michael said that he was never physically abused. Wait a second.
His daughter about their stories of abuse at the hands of angry grandpa, and they tell these stories as if they're like funny, nostalgic experiences. It's super disturbing, and let's hear what they have to say.
And Dad's like, I said shut the fuck up! And he takes this jar, and he throws it, and my sister ducks, and then here I am, and it crashes in my fucking face.
So yeah, holy shit, that's a lot.
Oh, so that was... Yeah. So here's the other one where he says, like, yeah, he wasn't abusive, but they glossed over this.
Also, it's equally just...
On my boat. It was so freezing because I was always like this skinny little thing, and I never had any meat on my bones. So what I would do is I would take my blanket and go and turn up the heat like full blast. And then one day my dad finally got tired of it, and I was laying on the air vent, and all of a sudden all I hear was, what the fuck? Stupid fucking bitch. And then like daddy just like kicks the shit out of me. I'm sorry that I'm cussing, but that's what happens. And then, my dad like kicks the shit out of me and then yanks the blanket off of me and says, goddamn bitch, Jenny, picks me up and throws me against the wall. Legs go flying, arms go this way and go that way. I'm just like, holy fucking shit.
You're welcome, Q.
And then, so, my dad, this was back when he was mean and drunk, I know, he didn't mean to do it. It was just the alcohol talking.
This is real. Pushes this child that can't be older. And then he goes for the foot on the face, kind of reminiscent of A Christmas Story when Santa pushes the kid down the slide by his face with his foot. But it's just when it's happening to a 2-year-old kid and you can see his head like snapping backwards, it's just why are you doing this to such a small child? What's going through your head? Genuinely, my only guess is that he thought this was fun. Background, child's face, and then that shit forward anywhere you can taste. Do you want?
Oh wait, hold on. Look.
So yes, the foot on the face kind of up on Grandpa, intending to scare him. Play violent video games, and then he locks them in the room after they start not being comfortable with what has just happened in the game.
Michael!
Boy, what happened?
It's crazy. It's crazy.
You can go.
And he won't let the kid out of the room.
And that clip is just so uncomfortable.
That is crazy. And he just glossed over all that stuff. It's nuts. Yeah, no, and I had this dumbfounded look on my face, just like, what the hell is this? Hold on, let me see how Zach's doing with that new video. That's crazy. Oh yeah, there's a new Danny Gonzalez. Tristan, did you watch the new Danny Gonzalez? Yeah, they didn't talk about a single video in that entire thing. Like, yeah, so that's what made Shane Dawson's videos good, was Shane would show all these clips of what he was talking about and giving this evidence and all that. I don't get it. Hold on, let me see. Is Zach uploading this yet? She subscribed to me. She's pretty funny. She told me that I had too many ads in my videos. Oh. They talked about the one where he called the kid homophobic slurs, but yeah, he didn't mention the truck being thrown in the kid's head. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Q. I can't imagine good child protective services people getting involved and seeing that. You know what I mean? I don't see that. I don't see that happening. I don't know. Here, hold on. I'll give you guys a point of reference too. Wait. Oh yeah. Oh look, Q-Stars up there, 54,000. How come I don't get that many views on my stuff, Q-Star? Huh? Huh? Huh, Q-Star? Give me your secret sauce. Okay, hold on.
What? Markiplier making videos about this. The Gabby show. I'm not comfortable wearing hats. I don't like hats. Hats make my head feel weird.
Hard-hitting Boogie.
Two different things. Me and my friends over Big Breakfast, and my friend Jacob and Ellis. You guys seen him do movie reviews. You seen him do you did, which is character-driven. Was bad because it was no video. Don't work with kid behind the camera. Don't interview him. Don't. When I was in Boulder, Colorado, I was there with McJuggernuggets and Brian Spitz and meeting fans, but I was also there with Michael Green, kid behind the camera. A lot of you guys said, don't work with kid behind the camera, don't interview him, don't put him in your videos, don't be associated with him. But
I've been friends with him for years. We're like this.
The Shane Dawson inside me took over and said, Boogie, let's see if you can get him to sit down for an interview to face all of the accusations that have been levied against him. And he agreed to do it, so I did it. Now, it's been getting edited because it was over an hour and a half's worth of content. I think about an hour's worth of content. I think once it was edited down and some of the little bits and pieces were clipped out of there, it's down to 1 hour's worth of content. It'll be one of the longest videos I've ever uploaded to YouTube, barring this podcast that we are moving forward on. I want to use the YouTube Premiere system to do it. I think I want to launch that Friday afternoon. So
I don't
keep
think
an eye
you
on
did
the channel.
that.
I don't know how this Premiere system works, but I got to get it
I don't think
downloaded.
You did that.
Premiere. I'm thinking tentatively 6 p.m. Pacific time, which is 9 p.m. Eastern time.
Oh yeah, that's what you're saying too.
Go live like a live stream does, and
He
you guys
screwed you on
will chat.
He screwed you on the time.
Individual period of time. And then for those of you who don't want to join the live portion of it, I left it up to Jeff to go after that.
Hold on.
So I think our target for that is Friday. I need to watch the edit. I need to see if any more edits need to be done. But I kind of left it up to Jeff to edit it however he felt was best. This is very much a Jeff Saxton production. He directed it, he filmed it, and he edited it. So at the end of the day, all I did was playing Shane Dawson and getting his face and screaming at him about stuff. So
you guys, hold on.
Jeff Saxton production. He directed it, he filmed it, and he edited it. So at the end of the day, all I did was playing Shane Dawson and getting his face and screaming at him about stuff. So at the end of the day, all I did was playing Shane Dawson and getting his face and screaming at him about stuff.
Somebody should clip that. Someone should clip that and then show him just like defending him in that interview.
At the end of the day, all I did was playing Shane Dawson and get in his face and screaming him about stuff. So
I can't.
I'm curious as to what you guys are going to think about that. Should I do
That's what I think about that.
this premiere? Should I upload it as a regular video?
Oh.
I don't know. But either way, I'm planning on dropping it on Friday. I wanted it last Friday. It wasn't done getting edited. Sorry for missing my original.
By the way, like, not much of that video was edited. Like, Shane and Andrew do more editing to a video in a night. Respect Shane Dawson, everybody.
Target. But that's pretty much it. That's it. I hope you guys like the content I'm creating right now. I'm trying to upload 5 days a week, 6 days a week right now since we're moving into the holidays. And CPA is good, and I'm excited to work. I'm invigorated to work. I'm happy. I'm healthy.
I'm curious. I'm curious about something. Okay, so this is Boogie talking about Daddy of 5. Let's see. This is going to be an interesting compare and contrast.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Boogie2988 coming at you live once again through the power of the internet. And today I had a video planned talking about Francis and the Francis character and, you know, talking about that
Boogie's
for all
lost
the
a ton of weight, though.
who've seen the changes to the character and the new stuff. I'll probably make the video later in the week. But today I saw a video by Philip DeFranco talking about a family here on YouTube. And actually, to be honest with you, I was clued in on that about, I think, Friday night when that video first started circulating on Reddit. I'm not going to mention the name of the family because I don't want to lump into the situation. I don't want to add any extra bullshit or terror. But I thought this, instead of the usual...
Wait, hold on. YouTube's good. How did YouTube know? Because he didn't call this Daddy of 5. He didn't mention Daddy of 5. He didn't put Daddy of 5 in the tags. YouTube's algorithm's on point, baby. YouTube, if you're watching my replay, you're good.
So today I would make a rambling video talking about what's going on there and talking about what's going on in my life and what has happened to me and draw some of the parallels because I can't speak for the kids in that family. I can't speak for that family. I'm not knowledgeable. I'm not there. I don't know. What I can do is draw parallels to my own life and use the examples that I've experienced to share with you and maybe influence the way you think about yourself or your life or the world or maybe even about this family a little bit. And so let's do that today. I'll use my rambling video for that. So if you're unfamiliar with the situation, go watch the DeFranco video if you'd like to. It's unmonetized, so don't worry, you're not helping anybody profit off of this stuff, which I'm absolutely against. But you know, over the weekend, we had that shooting, the guy who broadcast himself live on Facebook. And it got me thinking about whether or not it's moral to give people the option to broadcast themselves, knowing that some people will do terrible stuff. Like the people on Facebook, should we give the ability to live stream on Facebook, knowing that some people are going to beat other people or shoot other people or murder other people? Is that moralistically the right decision? Here's what I can say. I don't know if that's the right answer. I think it's worth the trade-off. I think, you know, as an advocate against cyberbullying, I have often frequently said that I hate cyberbullying, but my ability to communicate with you and your ability to communicate with me is worth the price of me having to deal with cyberbullies and people who say mean things or do mean things to me using the internet. It is worth it because I can put a very positive message into your mind and you can put a very positive message into mine and we can share those positive messages throughout the world. And there's more positive than bad. So yes, it's worth the price. And in the same situation, I think the ability to allow idiots to broadcast themselves is worth it because more good is done. More people use that broadcasting ability to do good things, to say good things, to feel good things, and to share good things than bad things. And one of the best parts about it is sometimes these people who do harmful, terrible things, the fact that they chose to broadcast it actually gets them caught quicker. Sometimes there's no video evidence that you have done anything wrong, 50 years ago. But now there's video evidence. You chose to broadcast it. Of course you're going to jail. Of course you're going to get caught. And that's a bonus. That's a great trade-off, right? And it reminds me to when I was a kid, how I was always desperate to own video cameras and audio equipment. And I always had a fascination with it. But one of the reasons I wanted that was to prove what was going on in our home, because no one would ever believe me that I was being mentally or physically abused. And I always wanted to find some way to capture that. And I got a few cameras growing up, you know. I got a Polaroid camera when I was like 10 or 11. I got some audio cassette recorders, a boom box that could record audio. I went to Upward Bound and I got to try a video camera for the first time and loved it. VHS recorder, you know, it was incredible. And that actually is what eventually led to this. So something good came out of that desire. But one of the reasons is because I wanted to record what was going on in my life for my own sake, for my own sanity, maybe to show it to my mother or the people that were abusing me one day, or to show it to somebody outside of the family for help. Well, now, in some situations, you see people recording themselves doing stupid stuff. And that may or may not be happening with what's happening with this family. But basically, there's this family on YouTube that is filming themselves doing pranks on their family, and they're coming under fire because some of the language that they use and some of the tones that they use during these pranks are very reminiscent of violence. In fact, if you added some fist punches to some of the audio tracks that these families have recorded during pranks, it would be identical to what I grew up with. Identical. You know, and it's very reminiscent. It sounds very much like mental abuse. What I've learned as an adult, after years and years of therapy, was absolutely mental abuse. So I think that the kids in this situation probably are not living an ideal life. And, you know, sometimes we confuse the ideal with normal, right? We always think, you know, an ideal situation for a kid, a normal situation is a kid never gets yelled at, a kid never gets hit. That's not normal. That's the ideal situation. That's the ideal that we would want for a child. But human relationships are complicated. Adults are complicated. Children are especially complicated. When you put an adult in the same room as a child, or you're trying to take care of the child, things happen. Sometimes parents lose their temper. Sometimes parents get upset. Sometimes parents raise their voice and use swear words. Unfortunately, sometimes parents also hit their kids, and that's why we have Child Protective Services, to investigate this kind of stuff and try to figure out if it's okay and if it's all right and if it's acceptable, whether or not it falls within the realms of normality. But when I watch these videos, I see the youngest kid exhibiting signs of anxiety and an anxiety disorder that's being created. He's saying things that are very typical of someone who is developed.
It's really weird. It's really weird seeing this after seeing how he handled that kid behind the camera interview.
An anxiety disorder, and that really scares me because I worry about that. That poor little kid, add a few pounds to him, and I swear he would sound exactly like I did growing up. And you look at some of the other things that these kids are saying in these compilation videos, at least we're not being hit. At least we're not getting beat like every other parent. A 9-year-old or 10-year-old or 11-year-old doesn't come up with that phrase himself. He gets told that by a parent and then parrots it. You know? Like a child doesn't...
Like... I don't know, man. I don't know. That's crazy. This is crazy.
Think, well, everybody else is getting beat. How does a child know? How does a child know what's normal is? Because let me tell you something. When I was growing up and I was being beaten every day, I thought it was normal. One of the reasons I thought it was normal is because I would ask my abusers about it, who were my parental units, who I believed and trusted. Perfect example. We would watch television, and people on television would eat very differently than we were. We were eating snack cakes and sodas and garbage all day. Just human garbage. Just garbage. Just actual garbage. And we would watch people on television eat salads and vegetables. And I would say, Mom, why don't we eat like people on television did? My mother, who's my caretaker, would say, nobody actually eats like that. Everybody eats like us. We eat the way everybody else does. On television, they're just putting on airs. That's for television. And I grew up believing that. Believing, I don't know why I'm not losing weight when I'm eating like everybody else does. I see the other kids at school drinking a soda. I didn't know that they weren't drinking 12 a day like my family did as normal. And, you know, obviously, even when it came to the physical abuse and the mental abuse that I was exhibiting or that I was experiencing, I thought that was normal. And it wasn't until years later that I thought to myself, well, it's not normal to get hit in the face or burnt with cigarettes or stabbed or cut or have fingernails scratched across you. That isn't normal. That's not what happened to other kids. And, you know, I wasn't until even later that I realized that not every kid got told, you're the worst thing that ever happened to me. You're the reason I'm a failure. You're the piece of garbage. I fucking blame you. I blame you. That's not normal. And even at the age of 25, when my mom sat down and told me, I fed you wrong on purpose because I wanted to make sure that you were so fat you could never leave me. I thought the way that I ate was normal right up until that day. And there's still things, God, I'm laughing about this and I know it's not funny, but I don't know how else to deal with it. You guys wonder why I make such offensive jokes, because this is how I deal with pain. I find humor in it. I try to find the funny in it, even when there isn't any. But I even just a few weeks ago, I was telling my wife how abnormal things that I experienced were, and even to this day, I just now realize how weird it was. How weird some of the things that I experienced and how weird some of the things I felt or that was done to me, how awful it was. And I think the kids in this situation are going to feel that way. I think it is abnormal to have your parents play pranks on you several times a month. I think it is abnormal to have your parents scream at you the way that these parents are screaming at their kids. I think
like, how does he not see the parallels? How does he not see the parallels between this and Kid Behind the Camera? How, like, we just watched Q-Star. Okay, so we watched the interview. We watched Q-Star's video showing the clips. Right? And then we're watching this. How does Boogie not see the parallels?